I was Mary's fiancé, her childhood friend, the boy who grew up right beside her. For as long as I could remember, she was the center of my world. But on that day, everything I thought I knew about her shattered. I saw her kissing another man. And not just anyone. Him. The so-called good brother she was always defending. The one I could never stand. Whenever she complained about him, she'd be hugging him right after, like he was a savior. Once, she told me, he controls me every day. And he just laughed it off, joking, "Isn't it because you spoiled him? You never set rules." I didn't know it then, but that moment carved a crack inside me. Maybe I wasn't as desperate to hold on to her as I thought. So I did the only thing that felt right. I walked away. If that's what she wanted, then so be it. But just hours later, she came running back, insisting she wouldn't marry anyone but me. And that same evening, she messaged me, "Hey, can you drop off the wine at the bar? It's at my place." I was sick, burning with fever, dizzy, barely out of bed. She knew that. She also knew the bar wasn't safe, not that late at night. Still, I told her, "Don't stay too long. Drink in moderation. Come back early." Then her call came. Laughter, shouting, noise spilling through the phone. And then her voice. "Have you eaten?" she asked like nothing had happened. My voice was weak when I answered, but she sounded annoyed. "You've got energy to eat, but not to bring me wine." I tried to explain about the fever, about the danger, but before I could finish, a man's voice cut through the line. His voice, "Tom, her good brother." "Forget it, Mary. Go get drinks for the ladies. Even if you lose your boyfriend, your brother won't let you go thirsty." The room roared in laughter, and I felt sick all over again. Still, I dragged myself into a cab and went. Fever, nausea, pounding head, I pushed through it all. And when I opened that bar door, I froze. There she was, Mary, in the middle of the room, kissing Tom while everyone cheered. The second she saw me, silence fell. Tom casually pulled away, smirking. "Oh, someone's here." Mary looked confused, drunk, and when she turned to me, her frown made it seem like I was a problem. Tom just laughed, wiping his lips. "Don't get the wrong idea, bro. We lost the game. It's just punishment." Punishment. That's what he called it. He wasn't even wearing a shirt, standing there tall, handsome, everything her friends used to gush about. I set the drinks down, ignoring the chaos inside me. "Hey, drinks delivered. I'm leaving." But Tom slung an arm over my shoulder, grinning. "Don't be mad, bro. We're just playing like siblings. Have a drink." I stared at him, then pointed at another girl nearby. "Then kiss her too." His smile cracked. He paled. The crowd muttered. Some girls sneered at me. "We're just having fun. What era are you living in? Don't be so controlling." I was burning, but not just from fever. Do you know why I haven't caused a scene? Because I don't waste my breath on garbage. But push me one more time. See if you leave smiling. Silence. Then Mary grabbed my arm, scolding me. "Why are you like this today? We're just playing. You're ruining the mood." Tom tried to laugh it off again, but then Mary's words cut through me like glass. "Just because I'm your girlfriend doesn't mean I'm not free. I'll do what I want, with who I want." I looked at her, exhausted, too tired to fight, too sick to care. And when she demanded I apologize to Tom, threatening to leave me if I didn't, I finally let go. "All right," I told her. "Let's break up." Later, when I returned to retrieve the key I dropped, I saw something that burned deeper than any fever. Tom, holding Mary up, her drunken body leaning against him, her hand on his cheek, her laughter, her whisper, "Why can't he be as good as you?" And then his sigh. "Honestly, Mary, he doesn't deserve you. Most men would kill to be in his place." She hesitated. "Maybe you're right. Maybe he's just after my money." I felt the ground tilt beneath me. My heart, my body, everything crumbling. And as they disappeared into the restroom together, locking the door behind them, I turned away. Fever, nausea, heartbreak. I couldn't even tell which one was worse. That night, The fever burned through me, dragging me into restless dreams of the past. Back to the orphanage. Back to when it was just the two of us. I was always a weak one, sick and fragile, and Mary, she was my light, my little moon. I can still see her, barefoot in the date, running to find a doctor for me. Still feel her hand in mine as she whispered, "Don't worry, George. I'll stay with you forever." When the orphanage caught fire, she was pulled to safety, but she ran back, straight into the flames for me. That scar on her shoulder, I always saw it as proof that her love was stronger than fear, stronger than life itself. We had no one but each other. Two abandoned kids clinging to the world through one another, until the day her birth parents appeared. She was 16, the long-lost daughter of the powerful G's family. Overnight, Mary became rich, but she never left me behind. She'd sneak out to see me, laugh with me, study beside me. We promised we'd get into the same university, and we did. We were the envy of the campus, the perfect couple. And then Tom came. Charming, popular, a fitness influencer. Everyone adored him. But I knew better. I'd lived long enough to recognize an opportunist. I warned her, but she just laughed, brushing me off, maybe even enjoying the attention. Meeting her parents was worse. Mary begged them to accept me, even kneeling at their feet. Her father treated her gently but looked at me like I was nothing. To them, I wasn't a man. I was just an orphan who had no place at their table. Mary proved her love by standing outside in the rain all night until her fever nearly killed her. That broke me. It made me vow to earn their approval, no matter the cost. So when they told me to join the family business, I gave up my dreams, my career, everything, just for her. Inside the G's mansion, I wasn't a son-in-law. I was a servant. Every word I spoke, every step I took was weighed and judged. Her father humiliated me, dismissed my efforts, told me I should be grateful for the training. And still, I swallowed it all. For her, whenever I thought about walking away, I'd remember the girl who once carried me through the fire. I'd look at the scar on her shoulder and remind myself, she saved me. She loved me. That was enough to keep going. But last night shattered everything. I finally understood. She didn't see love in what I did for her. She saw dependence. She thought I clung to her for money, not for love. Delivering that wine, the drunken kiss, the humiliation in front of her friends, it was never about drinks. It was a test. Another cruel, pointless test. And this time, the last one. In my fever dreams, I still saw the Mary the first used to know. The girl who promised, "George, wait for me. Let's go together." But that girl was gone, washed away like rain on the pavement, leaving nothing behind but a scar. By morning, the fever had broken, but the ache inside me hadn't. I started packing my things, determined to leave it all behind. That's when I heard Tom's voice through the door. "Mary, don't forget, slam dunk this afternoon. Remember you promised to wear the cheerleader outfit." And a soft reply, I remember." The same day I was supposed to meet my biological parents. The orphanage had finally found them. The DNA results were waiting. I'd been terrified, nervous, but Mary promised to be there. Instead, she forgot me for a cartoon and for Tom. When the bedroom door opened, she found me packing. She frowned. "What are you doing?" "I don't have time to go with you right now." I didn't even look at her. "I don't need you to. We broke up last night. I'm moving out today." She froze, then laughed. Mocked me. "George, you're so spoiled. Always threatening to break up. You really think I can't live without you?" She crouched down, yanked at my suitcase. "Wasn't last night enough drama? You humiliated me in front of everyone. You made Tom uncomfortable on purpose. Are you still not satisfied?" My hands clenched. My voice shook, but I met her eyes. "Mary, I told you I was sick. You still sent me out. You kissed Tom first. He confronted me first. And I didn't hit him. I held back. You were the one who said we should break up." I zipped my suitcase shut. "I never assumed you needed me. And I'm not dependent on you either." Her face twisted, but I felt strangely calm. For the first time, I wasn't clinging. I was letting go. Am I in debt to you or something? Haven't I been good enough? I risked my life for you back then." Her words still echoed in my head. That night, Mary's voice was sharp, bitter, clawing at me. "Last night, I just wanted to see how sincere you were. That's all. My friends say you're just using me for money, that I'm a fool. Couldn't you prove them wrong? What have you ever done for me? What have you given up?" I stayed silent. Her eyes flared, full of rage. "I really fell for the wrong person. You want to break up? Fine. Walk out that door. But remember, being the G's family's son-in-law isn't a title just anyone can claim." And I looked at her. Really looked. The red in her eyes wasn't love anymore. It was just hangover and emptiness. Once, those same eyes held warmth, devotion, a future. Now, they were hollow. "You win, Mary," I whispered. She blinked, confused. "What?" "You succeeded. You made me stop loving you." And I left. No new home, no job, nowhere to go. Just me, a suitcase, and the weight of everything I'd lost. I spent the day in a corner booth of a KFC waiting for the DNA results that could tell me the truth about my past. I remembered what Mary once told me, that parents who abandon a child can't be good people, that if mine ever showed up again, it would only be to use a G's family name. Now that I'd left her behind, I wondered, would they still want me at all? What is family, really? The sunset that evening stretched golden across the sky. I finally stood, suitcase in hand, ready to cross the street toward the restaurant where the answers waited. That's when a scooter came flying out of nowhere. A girl ahead didn't see it, until I pulled her back, just in time. "You okay?" I asked, breathless. She smiled, catching her breath. "I'm fine, but you should be more careful." Then she studied me closer. "Wait, are you George?" "Yeah, that's me." Her face lit up. "I'm Nicole. My sister's married to your cousin. You really do look like Uncle Venus. Honestly, we don't even need a DNA test." She laughed warmly. "Come on, they're all waiting." At the restaurant door, I froze. A group of people stood waiting. Hope, fear, and longing written all over their faces. Then a woman broke free and ran to me, tears streaming as she wrapped me in her arms. "My baby, it's really you, George." Behind her, a tall man's eyes brimmed with tears. "Yes," he whispered, voice breaking. "Our son. He's come back." Their faces mirrored mine, and for the first time in years, something warm bloomed in my chest. Something I hadn't felt in so long. Nicole guided me inside as the orphanage director began to explain the truth. My mother, Jessica, had fallen deathly ill after giving birth. Their nanny, Madison, had been in love with my father, Venus. When he rejected her, she snapped. One night, she vanished with me. 6 months later, they found her body in the sea, along with a note to my baby clothes. A note filled with rage and cruelty, that if she couldn't have him, she'd make sure he never forgot her by taking his child. But Madison hadn't drowned me. Maybe it was compassion. Maybe it was another twisted punishment. Instead, she left me at an orphanage in another county, calling herself an unwed mother, giving me the name George. That orphanage would later burn down, and my life, my entire identity, was rewritten in smoke and ash. 4 years, the Venus family believed their child had died, and yet, all this time, I had been living in the same city as them, never knowing, never once crossing paths. Until now, it was Nicole who uncovered the truth. During a charity event, she stumbled on an old photograph of the fire, recognized my face, and saw her uncle in me. At first, my family resisted. Too many imposters had come before. Too many lies. But after careful investigation, the truth surfaced. That night, I walked into the Venus family home for the first time. The warmth, the noise, the crowd, it was everything I'd never had growing up. My father sat me down, his voice gentle. "George, the director said you were dating Jeezy's daughter. Is that true?" I froze. My mother quickly cut in. "We're not judging, sweetheart. Her family may be different from ours, but if you truly love her, we'll stand behind you." I shook my head. We already broke up. My father didn't press. He just leaned forward. "Then what do you want to do now? Are you interested in learning to run the company?" That question lit something inside me. The dream I'd buried for years. The dream of becoming an entrepreneur, of standing tall on my own terms. Something the G's family had never let me touch. Now, I finally had the chance. A few days later, my cousin Anthony and Nicole came to visit. Anthony told me what my father hadn't, that years of grief, of endless searching, had worn him down. Though younger than my uncle, he looked years older. And for the first time, I realized I wasn't just someone's orphan anymore. I was someone's son. Anthony laid it out for me one evening, his voice calm but steady. The Venus Group has two major arms. One I manage, and the other belongs to your second uncle. Eventually, that half will fall to you. But for now, would you be willing to start getting involved? I didn't hesitate. Yes, I'm ready. Before I could say more, Nicole, who had been quiet until then, smiled in that playful, teasing way of Hayes. I've got some free time. I'll help out too. And just like that, we stepped into the world of the Venus Group together. I kept my head down in the beginning, starting as nothing more than an executive assistant. Nicole joined as my partner. At first glance, she might have looked like another spoiled rich girl with too much time on her hands. But she wasn't, not even close. She was sharp, intuitive, and far more grounded than anyone gave her credit for. We closed deals side by side, faced clients, and strategized late into the night. Nicole had this effortless way of cutting to the truth, sometimes with a joke, sometimes with a smirk, but always right on target. She understood people. Underneath that carefree exterior was a razor-sharp mind. After hours, we'd sit together, replaying the day's challenges, simulating negotiations, pushing each other to see angles we'd missed. And when I worked myself to exhaustion, she'd lean back, grin, and nudge me, "Don't push too hard. Even warriors need rest." I laughed once and asked, "Who said that?" She tilted her head, still smiling. "No idea, but it sounds wise, doesn't it?" For the first time in years, I felt like the weight wasn't mine alone to carry. A month slipped by faster than I realized. On one quiet afternoon, I found myself at Starlight Mall, searching for the perfect gift. Nicole's birthday was coming up, and though she could buy anything in the world, hell, her family even owned the mall, I wanted to find something that meant something. After wandering past glittering displays, I settled on a simple red blessing knot. Modest, but symbolic, a token of gratitude, and maybe something more. That's when I heard it, a voice I hadn't heard in weeks. "You're buying that for Annie? She'll love it." I froze. Tom, standing by the perfume counter with Mary. She looked exhausted, drained even, but the moment our eyes met, Hayes lit up with something I couldn't name. "George," she whispered, as if she wasn't sure I was real. Tom noticed a box in my hand and grinned, strolling over like nothing had changed. "Buying a birthday gift too, bro? That's too plain. Let me show you how to impress a girl like Annie." Mary's smile died instantly. Her voice cut sharp. "Where have you been this past month? You think some cheap little trinket makes up for everything." Her eyes fell to my badge, temporary, nameless, marked only with executive office. Tom burst into laughter. "Wait, don't tell me you're working as a receptionist at Venus Group." Mary's face tightened with something between anger and shame. "Why are you working there, George? Do you have to embarrass me like this?" I met her eyes, steady, calm. "I don't owe you an explanation. We're not together anymore." She snapped back, desperate. "Stop messing around. Come back, George." Mom's furious. I shook my head. "I've already sent in my resignation. I don't belong there anymore." Her voice rose, breaking. "You really think you can just walk away? That little red string won't buy you forgiveness. My parents will never accept you back." I pulled my hand from her grip. "It's not for them, and it's not for you." And then Nicole's voice cut through the tension. "George!" She walked toward us, her assistant following close. Mary stiffened instantly. "You, Miss Nicole, from Starlight Group." Nicole gave her the kindest nod a queen can give to a stranger. "And you are?" "Mary, from G's Group. My parents reached out about a collaboration." Nicole's tone was cool, polite, but firm. Our bidding cycle has ended. You can try again next year. Mary panicked. But my parents know you enjoy traveling. They wanted to invite you. Nicole cut her off. My hobbies don't influence business decisions. That's when Tom tried his luck, smirking. Miss Nicole, you should know, Mary's boyfriend, George, is working at your family's company. They only made him a receptionist to get close to you. Nicole turned to me, her gaze steady. He's my ex-boyfriend, I said, my voice calm, unshaken. We're not together. Mary flinched, forcing a smile. George is joking. He came here today to buy a gift for my mother. We're still close. We just want to be friends with you. Nicole's lips curved into a thin smile. Since you already know George, let me introduce him properly. He's the president assistant at Venus Group. Very busy. If you want to see him again, be sure to book an appointment. Mary blinked, stunned. A few days later, she did exactly that. We sat across from each other in a conference room. I kept it professional, distant, walking her through a proposal like she was any other client. But then her voice broke. How did you become the president's assistant? She demanded. We're here to talk business. Her anger cracked into desperation. Did you sell yourself? You never had the qualifications. I worked so hard to protect you. I loved you all these years, and now you're just warming another woman's bed. Her voice trembled. Her eyes burned red. She grabbed my hand, clinging to it. You're mine, George. You've always been mine. Nicole likes you, doesn't she? That's why she brought you into Venus. Why her, George? Has she ever saved you like I did? She's just richer than me. Is that all it takes? I looked at her, but all I felt was emptiness. No, Mary, that's not what this is. Not anymore. Her whole body shook. I love you, George. Why can't you see that? I shook my head gently, peeling her hand away. We've already broken up, Mary. It was just a fight, she cried. No, I said softly, firmly. It's only a fight if both people want to keep fighting for it. You can't accept this because I always came back before. But this time, I won't. I've changed. I wasn't the same George who used to beg for scraps of her attention. That part of me was gone. I slid the documents across the table, JS Group's internal reports. Useless. They'd never meet Venus Group standards, and neither would we. Just like our love, there was no going back. Saying those words out loud stung deeper than I expected. 4 years. She was a woman I adored. Now, all that was left between us was silence in an empty conference room. My phone buzzed. Mary. Her message spilled across the screen like a plea. George, I know I messed up. That night, I was drunk. I shouldn't have asked you to bring me wine. I didn't know you were sick. I don't care about Nicole. Just come back. You're still mine. If you ignore me, I'll find you again and again. You can't erase everything we had. Then, a photo, the scar on her shoulder, a relic from years ago. My chest tightened, not with love, but with a bone-deep exhaustion, like a weight pressing me down. I blocked her number. The city outside began to glow, sunset giving way to flickering neon across the floor-to-ceiling glass. That's when I heard a soft voice. So, you're here. Nicole stood at the door, gentle, calm. She crossed the room and sat beside me. I heard you ran into Mary. Didn't go well, did it? I nodded, tried to play it off as business, but the truth was written all over me. Nicole smiled, just faintly. You did fine. My mom used to say, when you're in charge, people will always try to sway you with emotions. The key is staying grounded. But I wasn't grounded. Not that day. She noticed, leaned her head on the table. Rough day? Same here. Want to get some A. Next thing I knew, we were riding bikes through warm summer streets, stopping at food stalls one after another. Stinky tofu, fried cakes, skewers hot off the grill. She fed me like I was some stray she'd taken in, and for the first time in a long time, I laughed. Watching her carefree, I asked, Don't you ever worry? She brushed her hair back. Of course I do. My sister's this big success. 4 years I thought I had to be just like her to be worth anything. But then, I realized I don't need anyone's approval. I just need to be me. We ended up on a basketball court, just the two of us. She'd never played before, but I showed her the basics, corrected her stance, guided her hands. "Why do you like this game so much?" she asked. "Because it feels free. The chaos, the competition, it made me forget everything else. Out there, I felt alive." When she managed to sink a shot, she jumped like she'd just won gold. Her joy was so pure, it made me feel like myself again. Later, we sat in front of a drive-in screen watching Slam Dunk. Nicole's eyes lit up like a kid's. "I didn't know basketball could be this fun," she whispered. That night, she wasn't just a business partner. She was someone who made the weight on my chest a little lighter. But peace never lasted long. A week later at the golf club, my assistant came running. "Someone's asking to see you, says it's important. Brought a gift." I frowned. "Who?" "Mary's father." The moment he saw me, his face twisted. "George, so it's true. You're nothing but a lackey at Venus Group. I told Mary you were no good. Let me take a photo. The world should see what a disgrace you are." I didn't flinch. I poured tea, calm as ever. "You're right. Not just anyone can join this club. That's probably why your 10 applications failed." His face drained color. And then, as if on cue, my father arrived. His presence hit like a thunderclap. "So you're the one who had my son serving tea at your company all those years? Now you want to treat him like a VIP. His voice was ice. Mary's father stammered, misunderstanding. "I've always seen George as a son." But my father cut him off, sharp and cold. "My son doesn't need your kind of family. If you want to serve tea here every day, maybe, we'll let you join as a lowest level member." And just like that, the tables had turned. He ran off with his little gift, tail between his legs like a beaten dog. Checkmate. Dad didn't waste a breath. "If any of his friends are still members, cancel them all," he told Shao. Then he turned to me, placed a hand on my shoulder. "George, I should have found you sooner." I shook my head, pulled him into a hug. "You did. That's what matters." And in that moment, it hit me. The greatest treasure wasn't power or money or revenge. It was family, people who stood beside me when the world turned its back. Everything else? Just noise. But peace never lasts long. One of the employees had been behaving strangely ever since Nicole appeared. Eyes glued to her every move, tight shirts, useless errands, coffee deliveries that nobody asked for. The whole act of a man desperate to impress. And Nicole, she didn't exactly stop him. I clicked my tongue. Same old Nicole, falling into the same patterns. Then the president's office door creaked open. Nicole stepped out, radiant as ever, and right behind her, Tom, wearing that ridiculous, skin-tight outfit. Nicole's smile softened when she saw me. "George, you're here. Come join us for lunch with the client." I nodded. Tom hurried up beside her like a loyal puppy. The walk to the restaurant was awkwardly silent, except for the swish-swish of his clothes. At the private dining room, he rushed to sit beside Nicole, practically glowing. "Miss Nicole, shall we order king crab later?" he asked eagerly. Nicole laughed. "Let's wait for the guest first." But when the door opened, Tom's grin collapsed. It was Mary. His face drained to color. "Mary, what are you doing here?" he stammered. She shot back coldly. "I could ask you the same thing." Tension snapped in the air. Nicole cut in smoothly. "Let's eat first." And then the screen on the wall flickered to life. A video. Nicole's office. Tom appeared on screen, sliding coffee across her desk, whispering greasy little words. "Mary's been pursuing me, but I don't care for her. George and she are together. I'd never be the third wheel. Honestly, she's embarrassing. But Nicole, if you're curious about JIS Group's core tech, I can get it for you." The video stopped. Silence. Nicole slid a sealed envelope across the table. Her voice calm, her eyes sharp. "I haven't opened this. I don't even know if it's real. But if Starlight wanted JIS's tech, we'd already have it. We're simply not interested." Her fingers brushed the red string bracelet I once gave her. If Tom was Mary's pawn, then I admire her courage, but it shows she doesn't know me. And if he wasn't, Well, then she still doesn't understand the risk of handing over something like this. Mary's hand shook as she clutched the envelope. After a long silence, she whispered, "I didn't send him." Nicole smiled faintly. "Then today, I return this as a favor repaid. But Mary, as the daughter of JIS's president, you should know better." Recording Tom's voice? Despicable. Tom snapped, "You can't just record me like that." Nicole's chuckle was ice. "You really think I need your permission in my own office? My mother taught me long ago, never drink from strangers, never let your guard down." Her voice hardened as she turned to Mary. "Eat well, and be careful who you call a friend." Nicole tugged my hand, ready to leave, but Tom exploded. "Nicole, you're the blind one. George is a leech. He used Mary for money, and now he's using you. You're being fooled." Nicole stopped, turned, her tone almost amused. "If it's him, then I don't mind." Tom's face went pale. Then Mary's phone rang. She answered, but within seconds her expression shattered. "What? What did you say?" Her voice trembled, the phone slipping from her hand. "You're the young master of the Venus Group, but Madison isn't." Tom's jaw dropped. "Wait, you're that George? Heir to Venus." I walked out without answering. Behind me, Mary was sobbing, porcelain shattering against the wall. I only paused long enough to tell the restaurant manager, "Check the damage. Have them pay for it in full." That night, the Venus family hosted a formal dinner, my official debut to the business world. Everything was polished, controlled, until chaos erupted at the entrance. Mary's parents barged through the reporters. Her father fell to his knees before me. "Please, George, Mary tried to take her life. You can't abandon her now. She's loved you for years. You owe her your life." Her mother screamed behind him, grief twisting her face as cameras flashed. Later, in the lounge, I sat with Nicole and my family. My father's voice was calm. "Don't worry, George. We've already spoken to the press. No photos will leak." My brother added firmly, "You've done enough today. Get some rest." But I shook my head, my voice steady. "If I'm going to lead the Venus Group, I have to handle this myself." This was my burden to carry, and I knew I had to end it. At the hospital, Mary lay pale against the white sheets. The moment her eyes found me, tears spilled down her face. She clutched my wrist as if I were the last thing keeping her alive. "I knew you'd come. I knew you wouldn't abandon me," she cried. I lowered my voice, steady but heavy. "Tell me, Mary, when you say you can't live without me, do you mean me, or the wealth of the Venus family?" Her eyes widened, shocked. "George, how could you even think that? My feelings have nothing to do with money." "So you do know there's a difference," I murmured. She blinked, lost, confused. "What?" Gently, I pulled her fingers away from my wrist. "I'm here to tell you, it's over. For real this time." Her face crumbled, disbelief flooding her eyes. "Real love doesn't need tests, Mary. It doesn't demand proof, or balance, or trade. Love is trust. Love is sacrifice. But you doubted me. You kept seeing Tom behind my back, blaming me every time things fell apart. That's not love. That's fear. That's control. And the truth is, we ended a long time ago." Her voice cracked into a whisper. "You knew it already, didn't you? I loved you too much. Girls like me always do. I loved you more than my own life." Her mother burst through the door, fury and grief written on her face. "She saved your life. How can you be so heartless?" But behind her, my father and uncle stepped in. My uncle's voice was ice. "Mary has repeated that story for years, but we checked the records. Yes, she ran into the fire, but George was already pulled out by firefighters. When he woke up, she lied. She made him believe it was her." Mary's mother froze. No, my daughter wouldn't." "We even found the firefighters," my uncle said. "They'll testify, if you'd like." My father stepped forward then, his disappointment heavier than anger. "My son didn't want us to come here, but I had to. The Venus family believes in gratitude. George does, too. but that doesn't mean you get to chain him with guilt. Nicole stood at my side, calm and unshaken. She met Mary's teary eyes. You were always afraid of the truth. Afraid that even if you clipped his wings, you could never cage him. Because deep down, you knew you were never enough to keep him. Mary said nothing. She just cried. And in that silence, I turned and walked away. Because a man who was born to soar could never live in a cage. I looked back at her one last time. My voice was gentle, but final. Mary, stop risking your life like this. This is the last time I'll come. Next time, whether you live or die, it won't have anything to do with me. Her mother collapsed to the floor in despair. Mary sat frozen, staring at nothing, and I walked out for good. After that, I turned to the storm waiting outside. The rumors, the gossip, I silenced them with an official statement. The JIS family tried everything. Calls, messages, pleas to the Venus family. We ignored them. I buried myself in work. At first, it felt like slamming against a wall of ice. But slowly, cracks formed. And beneath them, I found an ocean. The more I learned, the more I realized what I was capable of. Respect came, not because of my name, but because of my effort. Little by little, I began to stand on my own, to carry the weight of a legacy, not as a son, but as a leader. One evening, Nicole asked me to meet her at the basketball court. She'd been practicing, and now she was landing three-pointers with ease. We sat at the sidelines, twilight painting the sky above us. My heart was pounding. I pulled out a bouquet of red flowers I'd been hiding behind my back. I've been wanting to tell you something, I said, fumbling with nerves. We look like a family, don't we? I laughed awkwardly at my own cheesy words, but Nicole's eyes softened, surprised, and warm. Back then, I was lost. I had no faith in myself. But with her, being with her was like basketball. You never know if you'll score until you take the shot. A real partner, I continued, doesn't hold you back. She doesn't lock you in a cage. She runs beside you. She pushes you forward. Nicole, will you run with me? She stared at me, stunned. Then she leapt into my arms, whispering near my ear, actually, I think so too. We really do look like a family. Fireworks lit up the court that night. Nicole leaned on my shoulder, her smile glowing under the flickering colors. Soon, Anthony and Emily arrived with more fireworks, turning the moment into a celebration. But as the sparks burned bright, Anthony nudged me. So, what's your plan for the JIS family? I sighed. I wasn't planning to do anything. But if I don't teach them a lesson, they'll never stop. Nicole raised a brow, a sly smile forming. She pulled Emily close and declared dramatically, then how about letting us handle it? We'll put on a real show. Nicole's smile carried a spark of mischief as she whispered, the wind's shifting tonight. She and Emily raised their arms dramatically toward the sky, their voices echoing in unison like a scene rehearsed 100 times. Let Jay go bankrupt. Anthony and I broke into uncontrollable laughter, nearly dropping the fireworks in our hands. He leaned closer, smirking. You know, Emily's been binging those CEO revenge novels. Now she and Nicole trade notes like it's homework. Honestly, they're really getting into character. I glanced at them, two women plotting fictional business takedowns, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. I shook my head with a smile. Kind of cute, I murmured. But a few days later, fiction blurred into reality. The JS Group's empire unraveled in front of the whole world. Social media lit up with scandal, fake products, forged patents, dirty supply chains. Banks froze their accounts. Investors scattered. Just like Nicole said, we hadn't toppled them. We simply pulled back the curtain. Their own sins dragged them down. And while their empire crumbled, word about Mary and Tom trickled back through old college circles. People abandoned Mary the moment the money dried up, afraid she'd come begging. Her best friends disappeared without a trace. Tom's fall was even uglier. Accused of stealing trade secrets, exposed by boyfriends for his shameless flirting, and eventually beaten so badly he carried the scars into a courtroom battle he couldn't win. But none of that touched me anymore. My world had shifted. I had taken the helm of the Venus Group, not because of my name, but because I had finally earned it. And beside me was Nicole, the woman who stood with me when I was broken, who reminded me that wings are meant to soar, not to be clipped. One evening, leaving the office, I paused. The sunset painted the sky in shades of gold and fire, as if the universe itself was nodding at me. I breathed in, steady and light. Today was a good day, I thought. Tomorrow will be too. And the future, finally, feels bright.